It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked, everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days.
Welcome back to Rage Against the Regime. I'm your host, Becky Williams. A little bit vulgarity in that song, but I think we can all relate to feeling like that these days. I know I have become so tired of being that pissed off. And you should be tired of being that pissed off too. You know, we sit behind the keyboard and we bitch and we piss and we moan. Some of us actually get up and do something outside of the keyboard. We make phone calls. We send emails. Our phone calls are ignored. We're passed off to a flunky. The emails aren't answered. We don't have any true representation. These lawless bastards in Congress, from state to federal, are making decisions for us that go against our will, and I'm sick of it. Right here in Texas, I'm really sick of the Speaker of the House. I'm really sick of the bullshit that's going on in and behind the closed doors of our state capitol. And this is a word to you, Speaker of the House. You better get your shit together. We're going to come pick you up. It's that simple. We're going to pick you up. We're going to arrest you for the atrocities and for your treason. Going against the people, defending and protecting the foreign invaders that have come into this country is simply not acceptable. Nor is it acceptable to put our children in danger with this narrative for this, we got to feel sorry for transgenders who can't go to the girls' bathroom with little girls in public places. I'm sick of this. It's making me crazy. When you start putting the privileges that you want to give to non-citizens and to transgenders over the safety of the people of your state, you are a traitor. I'll leave it at that. And this is going on across the board across this country. I can assure you the LGBTQHIJKLMOPQRST does not speak for any of the gay community of the folks that I know and associate with, period. My brothers and sisters would agree with me on that. So, here's the deal. Here's what we got going on, and I think you people need to be made aware. I've spent endless hours, endless months, and endless days, nights, and years on heavy research about many different subject matters. There's something you folks really, I need you to stop and I need you to think, because you're intelligent enough to do this. This isn't about racism. It's not about the Civil War. It is not about anything but a new world order being ushered in. And in order to bring the global citizenship program into effect, throwing some quotation marks up there, they have to erase our history. We can't have pride in anything. We cannot have a foundation. They're trying to change the face of America. They're trying to change the face of Europe. They're trying to change the foundation. Now, how did they start doing this? Well, they started doing it with these things called treaties that are actually not treaties. These are contractual agreements. Much like an interest rate is not in your best interest on a loan, it's in the best interest of the corporations and the banks. Same thing with the treaties. It's with total disregard to the people. You are considered a casualty. You are owned. You're enslaved. Everybody's a slave. These black people run around and never been a slave in their life in the context of which they envision slavery or they perceive slavery. Nor did their mothers or their grandmothers and grandfathers, because it would have been too long ago. You know, they're running around here bitching and screaming. And most of them are paid. They're paid actors. Because let's face it, Julio and Bocephus, who have no job to speak of, could not afford to be running around the country wreaking havoc on everybody. Okay? They simply wouldn't be interested. There has to be something that's being put as a tasty little breadcrumb out there for them to be doing the shit that they're doing. And there is an underground, very well organized, government-run railroad of for these little Nazi mercenaries and these little black thugs matter and the Muslim Brotherhood. This is all being funded by government, by Obama, by Hillary Clinton, by George Soros, by the state. You can bet your asses it was paid for, your tax dollars in Virginia. Your governor probably cut a nice little check to Crowds on Demand, Adam Schwartz, to have the lives of patriots put into jeopardy who had followed the law, who had filed for a permit, who showed up to exercise their First Amendment rights that are now, even by our dear President, Mr. Trump, being called white supremacist. Pardon me. You've seen for the last 3 or 4 years, since the creation of BLM, which is an offshoot of Uhuru, out of Africa, I need you to look that up, Uhuru, U-H-U-R-U, Uhuru. It's an Islamic black organization, very prevalent in the Africas, in particular in Kenya. They were created, the BLM is an offshoot of them. They were created here in America right after Obama, the fake Negro, Indonesian Muslim piece of shit that usurped our government, was head of the corporation appointed by a select few across the globe. He was groomed for what he did, and he did quite a good job. They've destroyed our country. They really have. But anyway, these groups are all paid. They're paid mercenary. Now, to be America and attack the American people, a mercenary, to claim that you're an anarchist, to carry the communist flag, and to do the things that you're doing, you're breaking so many federal laws. One, the Communist Act. 2, treason, espionage. Anarchy is against the law. Why is your government not putting these people under the jail? And we have by the way, we have a military tribunal for those situations who also are not protecting the American citizens. Your military does not serve or fight for your freedoms as they've been brainwashed to believe that they do when they sign their name on the dotted line. Your military fight for the corporation's interest, and they do it in foreign lands, and it doesn't have shit to do with America. Because if you ask an active duty soldier or a veteran, why are they not defending America? Why were our borders breached? Why are terrorists in our country? Why aren't you defending the American people that are being slaughtered and the bases that have been fired upon by the Nation of Islam? And they will tell you it is not their job. This isn't about racism. Although it's been portrayed very well, they had to divide the people. How do you divide a people? Well, you hit a hot spot. Racism is very prevalent in the human psyche because we're all taught to be prejudiced to some degree, even us with mixed families. I'm prejudiced against, I don't know, I'd call them niggers, but in my use of the word, it means a culture. It doesn't mean a color because, believe me, there's plenty of white niggers. There's plenty of Mexican niggers. It's a culture. And it's filth. They're filth. They're a waste of flesh, in my opinion. They are a drain on humanity. They're problematic. They're death and destruction. They're of no good purpose. They're a drain. And it's a culture. It's not a color. Some people would use it in context as a color. But here's what's going on, people. This isn't about color. It isn't about race. But the theater, Actors on Demand, Crowd on Demand, please go look them up. You'll find them on Becky Cole's wall. There's 3 posts about that company. We've seen these ads for 4 years, and that goes back to when I got off on my rant about Obama and went from point A to point B. Here we are again. Sorry about that. This is unscripted. I'm tired. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, this isn't about racism. This is about acts of violence, acts of war that are being committed against the American people. The loss of life, the accomplices in Virginia are the governor, the mayor, the vice mayor, the police chief, and anybody else who assisted in intentionally corralling the patriots into a corner to be seriously injured and attacked by these thugs that were bussed in. They're being bussed in. They're being paid. These are paid actors. Well, that makes all those people I just mentioned in Virginia accomplices to a murder. Because they facilitated it. They orchestrated it. They set up that covert operation. This happened in New Orleans. It's happening across the country. They creep in through the dead of night to get the least resistance to move monuments that are covered under an antiquity law. They're breaking federal law. Why is this happening? Why are they being allowed to do these things? Well, because Washington, D.C. is part of the program, you see. But when we, the people, decide to rise up, we don't want a street war. We do not want a street war. We're not going to win that battle because then they're going to send their big thugs in with big guns, and that's going to be called martial law. And then we're all fucked. Okay? We don't need to go there. But what we do need to be doing is arresting these son of a bitches that think they're untouchable. The ones funding it, the ones facilitating it in any manner, holding any seat or capacity in state, an elected official waging war on you has committed a crime. We have the right to citizen's arrest. We also have the right to a common law trial and swift judgment and execution of judgment. This needs to start happening. And when we arrest them, we need to get some answers. We need some answers from them about who's who and who's doing what. And then we go get them. See, you are your own leader, and you have rights, and you have the right to a citizen's arrest, you have the right to a common law jury, a common law court, and you have the right to life and prosperity in this country, and your life and your prosperity are in jeopardy. Your prosperity has been stripped from you if you are white. There is no white supremacy. Stop using those words. Trump, you stop using that bullshit word, because I know what you're up to. You're going to keep painting that picture in the minds of the public. And if you repeat a lie long enough, people start believing that shit. There is no white privilege or supremacy. Stop it. I'm telling you, President Trump, right now, stop it. You also have the power to stop what's going on in this country, and you better do your fucking job. I supported you and I voted for you, and I'll stand behind you, and I'll fight to the death for you. Don't fuck me. And that's what I feel like you're doing right now. Handle it.